Welcome, this is Kim from Dorothy's Daughter. Right now we're sewing together a classic men's shirt from Simplicity 8753. If you'd like to sew along, stay tuned. Hi, this is Kim from Dorothy's Daughter. Welcome to my channel. Today's Friday Sewing School, so we are working on the men's shirt, Simplicity 8753. Thank you so much to all my subscribers. If you would like to learn how to sew or would like to follow along with projects and hone your craft a little bit more, feel free to join us. Hit the subscribe button below. If you are brand new at sewing and have never touched a sewing machine, you can go back to the Friday Sewing School playlist that is on this channel, and we start at the very beginning, basics, and you're welcome to go back and follow along. I'm available for questions all the time, so feel free to leave questions, comments, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. So today we're cutting out our pattern. We are assembling the pocket, attaching the pocket, and then in between this week and next week, you're going to go ahead and stay stitch and apply the interfacing. So I'm going to go right to the video where you can watch me do that, and you're welcome to sew along. If you need to have the video on and pause it from time to time, feel free to do that. I'll be right back at the end to talk to you some more. All right. Before we start cutting out our shirt, let's just take a look at the general directions here. We have 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. I always check for that because that can vary. So I always kind of check that. And then, are the normal markings that we've seen before. It shows you where to make adjustments. And it shows you the measuring, which we've already done. All right, so also up here, we'll show you the pieces needed for each view. We are going to be doing view A, which is the classic shirt. And they're different for each size. Mine will be this one because I'm making a size 50 with some alterations. So I have some pattern pieces here that I've made the shirt before. And this one is traced. What I did, this is a hack that I did into a like Hawaiian shirt, which all I did was make it more straight down and less fitted, and gave some side vents and a straight hem rather than a curved hem. All right, I have my collar piece, my collar stand, the under collar, this is another piece for the other hack that I did. We have the yoke back. Here is the sleeve, which I had folded up on the lengthen and shorten line. I folded it up to make the short sleeve version. So I'm just going to cut it all the way open this time. Here is my front. And see, I had marked here where I add the attachment to make it the Hawaiian type loose fitting shirt, but I'm not making that this time. I'm making the classic shirt. So this is my front, and I did a just a straight size 50. My husband's measurements warranted that, but if you have somebody who's say larger in the hips than the chest, then all you have to do is blend the sizes in, use your ruler, And so it's nice and neat. If you have somebody who is smaller on the bottom and larger, you do the same thing, just come in this way. All right. And this is a new pocket that I drafted because the old pocket was way too small. What I did was I went and found one of my husband's dress shirts and I measured the pocket, and I also measured from where it was placed, because he also thought that the pocket was too low on the pattern. So I went ahead and I measured from the side and down from the middle of the shoulder, and that is where I place it. So I just wrote that on the pattern here, 7 inches from the shoulder, 4 inches from the side, and I'm making a much larger pocket. It's easy to do, just measure one of your husband's shirts and you'll know how big the pocket should be. I would not recommend using the pocket that comes with this pattern. All right, and here is our back. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lay out and cut my fabric now. Here is my front. And see, I had marked here where I add the attachment to make it the Hawaiian type loose fitting shirt, but I'm not making that this time. I'm making the classic shirt. So this is my front, and I did a just a straight size 50. My husband's measurements warranted that, but if you have somebody who's say larger in the hips than the chest, then all you have to do is blend the sizes in, use your ruler, and so it's nice and neat. If you have somebody who is smaller on the bottom and larger, you do the same thing, just come in this way. And this is a new pocket that I drafted because the old pocket was way too small. What I did was I went and found one of my husband's dress shirts and I measured the pocket, and I also measured from where it was placed, because he also thought that the pocket was too low on the pattern. So I went ahead and I measured from the side and down from the middle of the shoulder, and that is where I place it. So I just wrote that on the pattern here, 7 inches from the shoulder, 4 inches from the side, and I'm making a much larger pocket. It's easy to do, just measure one of your husband's shirts and you'll know how big the pocket should be. I would not recommend using the pocket that comes with this pattern. All right, and here is our back. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lay out and cut my fabric now. I have my fabric laid out, selvage to selvage. This does have a tiny check to it, so I will have a little bit of matching to do, but that's not hard at all. Since it's so small, it won't affect how much fabric we need or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on fast forward, but I wanted to just say here I'm going to actually follow the layout that is in the pattern. It's very important to really be sure, if you vary from that, really be sure that you can fit it all. I've been burned thinking I knew better in the past. Just make sure, if you are going to play pattern Tetris and do it yourself, make sure that you absolutely know where you're cutting. Okay, so when you are matching stripes or little plaid like this, you want to do is you want to find that spot 5/8 of an inch in from the armpit. Just going to mark this on the pattern. So this is 5/8 of an inch in, and then 5/8 down. So this point right here is where the seam allowances are all going to come together, all right? And then I'm looking to see what I'm matching that to, and that is falling, because you can see through it here, it's falling right on this line right here. So when I do the sleeve, I'm going to do the same thing, and also the back, and I'm going to make sure that that point ends up on the line. Okay, the first step in the directions calls for pressing the pocket piece. So we're going to go ahead and press 1/4 of an inch down, turn it over, and press it at the line, like that. And then we're going to sew 5/8 of an inch away, all the way around, so as a guide. And then once you've done that, you're going to fold it in and stitch across. And then we'll be able to put the pocket on our shirt. Okay, so if you have a serger, I've done my folding here, 1/4 of an inch, and then at the line this way. This is the right side here. This is the right side. Next, what you want to do is you're going to stitch 5/8 of an inch all the way around. But first, I like to finish the edges of my pocket before I do that. I will go and serge them. You can do it the method of your choice. A simple zigzag would be fine, or you can even just cut it with pinking shears. It's just important that you do finish those, because inside of pockets, they do fray sometimes. So I always finish the edges. Okay, so I have gone ahead and stitched 5/8 of an inch all the way around. And now what remains is that we're going to take and we're going to turn this right side out, the cuff over, and press right here at those lines to get ready to apply our pocket. I'll be right back. Now that I have my pocket all made and pressed, I'm going to stitch right across here to just hold the flap down. Just top stitch that right there. And you can kind of feel where the edge of the fold is. See, this is the back. You can feel the edge of the fold to just stitch close to the fold. I just use my fingers to make sure that the needle is going to the right of it. And then once you do that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to apply it to our shirt. All right, I have my left front here, and I'm going to apply the pocket. And remember, I had measured for this new pocket piece, because we don't like the pocket that comes with this. I had measured and written right on the piece here that we want 7 inches down from the shoulder. So I'm going to start right there. So that's 7 inches. Get a marker here. 7 inches down from the shoulder. It's right here. Okay. And then the edge is 4 inches in from the side. So we're going to go 4 inches in. So this is where that top corner needs to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply the pocket, and if you have a fabric that has lines or stripes to match, make sure that you match those up when you're applying the pocket. Okay, go ahead and pin this into place. Okay, now I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine and I'm going to top stitch all the way around, very close to the edge, and apply the pocket to the shirt. Okay, let's go to the sewing machine. Okay, I want to give you some top stitching tips as we do this here. Okay, as you start, put the needle down in. You want a setting of a stitch length of 3 is just about right for this. And then you're just going to proceed really slowly. Back stitch a couple here. Make sure that you go really close to the edge. And just proceed really slowly all the way down the pocket. Remove pins when you need to. Okay, make sure the needle's down in, lift the presser foot, and pivot. I'm actually going to go one more stitch because it just wasn't quite at the bottom yet. Okay, and then just keep sewing across. Remove your pins as you get to them. Pivot. And to the top. And make sure you lock it at the end. Now sometimes I will do an extra little triangle up there, which I'm going to do just to keep the pocket closed. Just go at a 45-degree angle to the top. Then pivot all the way around and go to the edge. I'll try and show you that more close up. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Degree angle, just to the top, and then pivot. It just gives it a little extra anchor. Okay, here is our pocket. I'm going to see if I can show you that stitching right at the corner close up. Hopefully you can see that little triangle that we made there. That's just to help the pocket from stressing. It doesn't give you directions to do that. I just always do it. Okay, the next thing, which you could have done before the pocket, but I just went ahead and did the pocket first. You're going to stay stitch all the neck lines, so around. So you're going to stay stitch the both front pieces on the neck and both yoke pieces around the neck, so that that keeps it from stretching out. Okay, so when we come back together, I am going to have this interfacing cut out and applied to the pieces, and the stay stitching done, and we'll carry on from there. If you need help with interfacing and applying it, you can watch my interfacing video, which from a few weeks ago, and there's another video where I actually showed the interfacing being applied, and that was in the Cadence Dress Sew Along. So you can watch those if you need to see it applied. Just follow the directions of your manufacturer, and we will be good to go. All right, I'll see you back in a minute. Well, I hope that helped, and I hope you are well on your way to making a shirt. Who are you making your shirt for? Leave me that in the comments below if you would. I'd love to know who you're sewing for. Maybe it's your father, maybe it's your son, maybe it's your husband or boyfriend. Who's the man in your life that you're sewing for? Or perhaps you're sewing a ladies version along with us, which is totally fine. If you are, would you put the pattern number so that I can look it up and make sure that the directions are going to be real similar for you? If you need assistance in finding a ladies pattern that is similar to this, also leave me a comment and I'll look for one for you that would be appropriate in your size. And also a kids pattern, I can also do that. So next week on Friday, we're going to proceed with our sewing of the shirt. We're going to construct the yoke, which is really a neat method to use, the burrito method of sewing something together, which we did in the Cadence dress, but it's applied a different way with sewing a yoke on a shirt. And we're going to just assemble the collar so that it's ready to attach the following week. So that's what we're going to do next week. On Tuesday, I hope you tune in. Tuesday or Wednesday are our chatty days where we cover sewing inspiration, maybe a little bit of an advanced fit tutorial once in a while. This week, it's another shop and sew. Everyone said they would like me to go and do that again, so I went out shopping and I took some pictures of the trends out there, and I'm going to match them up to patterns, and that will be on Tuesday. So look forward to that, or Wednesday. Usually the beginning of the week one happens either Tuesday night or early Wednesday morning. So you can be watching for that. All right, well, have a wonderful weekend. I hope you have great plans. We are going to do our family photos again. Tomorrow I'm going to be leading worship at a women's event, so I'm looking forward to that. And on Sunday, I'm going to see Fiddler on the Roof at the theater. So it's a very packed, wonderful weekend. So I hope that yours is as well, or maybe just relaxing. Tonight, our Buckeyes are playing, so I know a few of you have left me comments that you're Buckeye fans, so I'm going to say this and you can answer it in the comments. OH! Tonight's the game at 8:30 against Northwestern. Anyway, have a great weekend. Happy sewing.